Hello sports fans, welcome to Zero Sports Central. Today, we're going to be going over my Week 13 college football predictions. So last week I had a record of 20-1, and that brings my record on the season to 196-36. So this is rivalry week, meaning really anything can happen. But starting off with the games on Friday, and before we get into those, due to the holiday yesterday, I'm going to be only starting off with the night games because I was unable to get this video out before the games today started. But kicking things off, we've got Texas Tech at Texas. So Texas will clinch a spot in the Big 12 championship with a win. But if they don't, there's some insane tiebreakers, but the most straightforward path for Texas is to win. Texas also needs a win here to stay alive in college football playoff contention. And Texas faces a Texas Tech team that upset them last season, and obviously Texas will be looking for revenge. Texas Tech is a solid offense, scoring 28.6 points a game, but they face a good Texas defense that is best in the Big 12, allowing just 18.2 points per game. But Texas, they're the better, more well-rounded team here. They'll get the win and clinch their spot in the Big 12 championship game and win this game by a score of 35-24. Up next, we got Penn State at Michigan State. So Penn State quarterback Drew Allar is expected to play after suffering an injury late in last week's win over Rutgers. He will most likely play this week, but I don't really think that makes a big difference because he has not been very good this year, and Penn State also hasn't asked him to a whole ton. Plus, Penn State relies very heavily on the run offensively, as they run the ball for 177.9 yards per game. Now, the Penn State defense is also elite and faces a terrible Michigan State offense that scores just 17.4 points a game. Penn State should dominate this game on both sides of the ball, and they will destroy Michigan State, winning by a score of 38-3. Next game, we got Oregon hosting Oregon State. So this is a big game because Oregon, they can clinch a spot in the Pac-12 championship game with a win, but it won't be easy facing their rival and a really good Oregon State team. But Oregon State is also looking for a bounce-back win after losing to Washington last week. Now, Oregon State wants to run the football offensively, but they face a very good Oregon defense, especially against the run that allows just 96 rushing yards a game. Now, on the other side of things, Oregon's offense is insane, scoring 46.5 points a game, but they face a great Oregon State defense that allows only 20 points a game. So this is going to be a good game. It could definitely go either way. I have Oregon getting the win because I don't think the Oregon State offense will be able to do enough, because if they're not able to run football, which you don't think they're going to have a ton of success doing, then that's going to put a lot of pressure on DJ Uyunglele to keep up with Bo Nix and the high-scoring Oregon offense, something I don't think the Oregon State offense is capable of doing. So I've got Oregon keeping their playoff hopes alive and clinching a spot in the Pac-12 championship game as they beat Oregon State by a score of 42-27. Moving to the games on Saturday, starting off with the game, we have Ohio State at Michigan. So for the second straight season, both these teams enter undefeated with the winner a near lock for the college football playoff. So we're likely to see a low-scoring game as both these teams are insane defensively, allowing about 9 points a game. And both teams have also been able to stop the run this year, which will be big in this matchup. Now offensively, these two teams are a little bit different. Ohio State has a very balanced offensive attack and are scoring 33.6 points a game. And Michigan has been able to run the football at will behind an elite offensive line as they run for 171 yards per game and score 38.3 points a game. Now, running the football has been the way Michigan has been able to beat Ohio State over the last 2 years, but this is a much better Ohio State defense. They can stop the run, and they're a much more physical football team. So, this is a game that is going to be low scoring. It could definitely go either way. I think this could come down to who can throw the ball better, and there I would give the edge to Ohio State because of Marvin Harrison Jr. I think J.J. McCarthy is very good for Michigan, and he could make some plays to lead Michigan to the win, but he has not been very good as of late. He threw the ball just 8 times against Penn State and didn't throw the ball in the second half. And then last week he threw for just 140 yards and a pick. So I'm going to take Ohio State snapping their 2-game losing streak against Michigan, getting the win, and most likely making the college football playoff. And they win this game in a defensive battle, 16-13. Next game, we got Kentucky at Louisville. So Louisville clinched their spot in the ACC championship game last week with a win over Miami, but they still have slim hopes to make the college football playoff. And it's going to be very difficult, but that starts with winning against Kentucky. Kentucky's offense isn't very good. They haven't gained over 300 yards in 3 games. And then they'll face an excellent Louisville defense that allows just 18.4 points a game and only 370 total yards per game. Louisville's defense should control this game. Offensively, Louisville is good, and they face a solid Kentucky defense, but I think this could be a lower scoring game. Louisville's got the much better defense and just better overall. They get the win by a score of 24-17. Moving on, we've got LSU hosting Texas A&M. So Texas A&M has won 2 in a row, but they face a great LSU team, specifically a great LSU offense. Texas A&M's offense isn't amazing, but they've been decent, scoring 34 points a game, and they face a bad LSU defense that allows 27 points a game. So I think Texas A&M could be able to score. Then defensively, Texas A&M is great, allowing just 19.5 points a game, but they don't have to stop an insane LSU offense that is averaging 560 yards of offense per game and scoring 4 to 6 points a game. So I think this game is going to turn into a shootout, despite the good Texas A&M defense, because I don't think they're going to be able to slow down the LSU offense. But this game could go either way. I think the LSU offense is just too powerful. They're going to get the win. Jaden Daniels will have another great game and continue his Heisman case, and LSU wins this one 42-31. Up next, we got the Iron Bowl, Alabama at Auburn. So Alabama's been great, especially as of late. They now have to face an Auburn team that isn't great. Their defense is good, allowing 21.5 points a game. But while the Auburn defense is good, the offense is not, scoring only 27 points a game. And they don't have to face an elite Alabama defense that allows just 17 points a game. So I think Auburn's defense could keep this game close, but there's only so much the Auburn defense can do. Eventually, Alabama pulls away and wins easily 31-14. Next game, we got Arizona at Arizona State. So Arizona's coming off a blowout win over Utah, where they won 42-18. They now face their rival Arizona State, who isn't very good. Arizona State's just 3-8. They have a terrible offense, scoring 17.3 points a game. And they now have to face a very good Arizona defense that is allowing just 20 points a game. The Arizona State defense also isn't good, allowing 29 points a game. And the Arizona offense scores 32.1 points a game. Arizona should dominate this game. They're better on both sides of the ball. And Arizona finishes off a great season with another dominant win, this time winning 45-10 over their rival Arizona State. Next game, we got BYU at Oklahoma State. So Oklahoma State will clinch a spot in the Big 12 championship game with a win. And they face BYU this week, who hasn't been great in their first season as members of the Big 12. BYU has lost 3 straight and is terrible on offense, scoring just 22 points a game. Now, the Oklahoma State defense isn't great, allowing 26.7 points a game, but the BYU defense also isn't good, allowing 29 points a game. Oklahoma State is the better team here, although they aren't the greatest statistical team, but they've been good so far this year. I think Oklahoma State continues to have a good season and clinches their spot in the Big 12 title game, where I think they'll play Texas, with the win by a score of 38-13. Up next, we got Vanderbilt at Tennessee. So Tennessee desperately needs to get back in the win column after back-to-back blowout losses to Missouri and Georgia, as in their last 2 games they've been outscored 74-17. The good news is Vanderbilt is terrible. They scored just 22 points a game, allowed 35 points a game. It's all bad for Vanderbilt. Tennessee should dominate this game, and they finally get the much-needed win, 49-3. Up next, we got Liberty at UTEP. So Liberty's looking to finish off an undefeated regular season, where they face a 3-8 UTEP team that isn't very good. UTEP's offense is bad, scoring just 19.2 points a game. Their defense is also terrible, allowing 27.3 points a game. Then you look at the numbers for Liberty, they're very good, allowing just 21.1 points a game defensively and scoring about 40 points a game on offense. So Liberty should easily win this game, capping off a perfect regular season with a dominant 41-12 win over UTEP. Next game, we got the Apple Cup. We've got Washington hosting Washington State. So last week, Washington State snapped their 6-game losing streak with a dominant win over Colorado State, winning 56-14. And Washington State's offense was great, scoring 56 points. Now, I know it was the Colorado defense, so take it with a grain of salt, but still, 56 points is impressive. Now, Washington State's offense is still good, as I said, scoring 32.6 points a game in the season and throwing for 338 yards per game. Washington's offense is also great, as the Huskies scored 39.3 points a game and throw for 358 yards per game. Neither team's defense is amazing, but the Washington defense has been better as of late, as they're allowing just 23.2 points a game, while Washington State's defense is allowing 28.5 points a game. So Washington is definitely the better defensive team. I think this is going to be a pretty close game between 2 great offenses and 2 rivals. A game that I could see going either way, but Washington is the better team here. Specifically on defense, I think their offense is better as well, more well-rounded. Washington gets the win here and caps off a perfect regular season by score, and wins this game by a score of 42-26. Moving on, we've got Florida State at Florida. So Florida State will obviously be playing without quarterback Jordan Travis, who suffered a devastating leg injury last week. So backup Tate Rodemaker will be starting under center for Florida State. For Florida, they also have a backup quarterback playing after their starting quarterback Graham Mertz suffered a season-ending shoulder injury. So both teams will be without their starting quarterbacks. Florida State is still the better team here. They can run the football, and they have a very good defense, as Florida State runs for 162 rushing yards a game, and their defense allows just 17 points a game. Now, I do think Florida State is the better team, but I do think this will be a close game because Jordan Travis is out, and also it's a rivalry game, so it's going to be close, but Florida State wins this one by a score of 27-17. Up next, we got Notre Dame at Stanford. So Stanford is not very good. They scored 20 points a game, allowed 36 points a game. They now face a great Notre Dame defense that is allowing just 16 points a game. And offensively, Notre Dame is also good, scoring 37.5 points a game, and they've been even better when they've been able to feed off the defense. So Notre Dame, they should dominate this game, and I've got them winning by a score of 49-6. Moving on, we've got Georgia at Georgia Tech. So Georgia's playing their best football of the season at the right time as we get towards the postseason. But Georgia Tech is not very good, but they're not awful either. They sit at 6-5. Their offense is solid, scoring 30 points a game, but they face a great Georgia defense. And the Georgia Tech defense is terrible, allowing 30 points a game, and they don't have to face a very, very good Georgia offense that scores 40 points a game. So Georgia should dominate this game, and they will beat their rival Georgia Tech for the 6th straight season, winning by a score of 42-14. Up next, we got Clemson at South Carolina. So South Carolina's been bad this year. They're 5-6, and now have to face a Clemson team that has been better as of late, winning 3 in a row. Clemson's defense is very good, allowing just 288 yards per game and 21 points a game. South Carolina isn't great because they have a terrible offensive line, and they don't face a Clemson defense that is a good pass rush. Clemson should win this game. I do think it's going to be close, but Clemson gets to win by a score of 27-20. Next game, we got Iowa State at Kansas State. So this is going to be a low-scoring game because both these teams have very good defenses. Kansas State allows just 19.3 points a game, while Iowa State allows 20.5 points a game. The difference for these two teams is offensively, where Kansas State scores 38.1 points a game, and Iowa State scores just 25 points a game. So I think this can be a lower-scoring game for the majority of the game, but eventually the Kansas State offense will take the game over and put up a lot of points in the second half, and Kansas State wins by a score of 34-13. And our final game, we've got North Carolina at NC State. So this is a game that could definitely go either way. Both teams are 8-3. NC State is a lot like Clemson, a team who North Carolina lost to last week. NC State's got a very good defense, allowing just 20 points a game, and their offense isn't great. But their offense isn't quite as good as Clemson because NC State scores only 25 points a game, whereas Clemson's a little bit better than that. And that is the reason I have North Carolina getting the win. I think they'll be able to score enough even against a good defense, and I don't think the NC State offense is quite as good as Clemson's offense. So North Carolina gets the win and wins this game by a score of 28-24. But those are my Week 13 college football predictions. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible. Make sure to check out the community tab of my channel where you can vote on who you think will win some of this week's big games. But thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.